Okay, Jason, what do you see there?
Thanks, Katie. What I see is a horrific situation for public safety. What I see is a horrific situation for federal law enforcement. There's a totality of this event that needs to be thoroughly investigated from all sides in a nonpartisan, serious manner by trained federal investigators, by the Office of Professional Responsibility within ICE, within the Inspector General, and needs to be looked at holistically. What I see here is the administration seeking to adjudicate this case in the public square on Twitter. That is bad for law enforcement. That is bad for the public, and that is bad for migrants. Even looking at the situation here, what was the predicate for the operation? What was sort of happening? What was the activities that ICE was carrying out in that community? Just specifically on that video, what I see by what is within the use of force handbook within ICE, what has been the directive for the use of force, I see a lot of issues here based on that sort of guidance that was developed over the last few years by ICE civilian personnel. What I also see is potentially now an officer with a gun in one hand and a phone in the other. That isn't a best practice. Also, walking in front of the car in that manner. I've been involved in dozens of investigations, both with the use of in my career in the military, have been investigated for use of force in combat operations in Afghanistan. We need seriousness brought to this situation. What we have here, in foundationally, we need to question what is the public safety need for even these operations occurring in this manner, even to carry out the goals of the current administration. All of this needs to be into question because clearly migrants have the safety and humane care in processing of immigrants to this country, and now U.S. civilians' lives are being put at risk. We need to get back to sound law enforcement practices and sort of take this out of the public domain to be adjudicated in this manner. And all of this puts us all at risk.
Do you want to see state investigators involved in this as well? I know Minnesota wants to be able to get access to the evidence and to work side by side as they were initially going to with the FBI.
Yeah, I mean, any good investigation is multi-pronged, multi-jurisdiction. I've been involved in, like I mentioned, dozens of investigations where if we had somebody that died in ICE custody, we work hand in glove with local authorities, other federal authorities, the inspector generals, even with nonprofit groups to make sure that we carried out our practices in a humane, just manner that protects our officers, but also protects the civilians and migrants within our custody. We need to get back to that. The idea that we're now sort of adjudicating this on Twitter, we're far, far afield of what is in the best interest for public safety. So I would say, yes, we do need to have that transparency. And additionally, we need to get foundational best practices back within our immigration enforcement. Why are these officers carrying phones for video content, but not wearing their body-worn cameras? Why are we not just following best practices of federal law enforcement and law enforcement experts?
Yeah, so on that subject, why do you think that that's not happening? What do you think has changed in the last year?
There's a demand. What we've seen from the department is 87% of those that are within ICE custody do not have a criminal conviction. But what we also see is this drive to sort of drive social media and this political narrative that we've seen from Chief Bavino and others that's outside of immigration enforcement or management, which is this idea that the video content and the political narrative of punitiveness, that we're gonna force our will onto these cities that do not want these tactics. That is the have to get back to partnerships between state and local law enforcement with federal authorities. We need to focus on criminals, and we need to begin to really ask the question: when are we going to fix our broken immigration system? Because punitive enforcement in our streets is not a solution.
That's also a good point to make. In terms of effectiveness, the administration, Donald Trump ran on immigration enforcement in 2016, ran on it again in 2024, and there was a large part of the public who wanted it, especially in the years of the the presidency of Joe Biden, where so many migrants cross the border. They wanted that enforcement. Is this the effective way to do it? I mean, they wanted violent criminals out of the country. Is this the effective way? If ICE really wants to get folks out, is this the best way to do it?
Sort of mass sweeps in communities and sort of, checkpoints on highways. That's not focusing on public safety threats. What I believe, and I agree that, the large surges of migrants that we saw our southern borders were untenable and put our communities at risk during, but a lot of those surges began in the first Trump administration. And there was failures in the Biden administration. But when it comes to enforcement, what Americans wanted is people to be able to exercise under the law, the laws that allow for migrants to come to this country humanely and justly. We need to have a process that is at the scale of that demand. And then we need, if individuals have sort of exhausted their pathways to be here, we need to humanely and justly remove them from the United States. But we also need to focus on the public safety threats to our community. That is what Americans, left, right, center, Democrat, Republican, agree on. What we do not agree on is sort of going out in these swashbuckling ways of sort of hitting arrest quotas because it's good for the next tweet. That's not what we want. And what we've lost is a focus. Drugs are still coming across our southern border. Terrorism, lone wolf attacks across our country are up. We need law enforcement focused on those threats, but we also have to build an immigration system that protects American communities. And it also allows law enforcement to do their job to protect us.